The whole situation that came in from a place called China, you probably know, you probably see, but we have a little work to do, and we'll get it done. We're having some very good numbers coming out in terms of the comeback of our nation, and I think it's going very rapidly, and it's going to be very good. But right now we're in that process of building, and it's an honor that you're with us today. We very much appreciate it. I'm delighted to welcome members of the Workforce Policy Advisory Board. And I want to thank Ivanka. She works very hard on this board. She works very hard to get jobs. And it's made in the USA and jobs in the USA. I saw a group of your people yesterday having to do with ships.
Ivanka?
You're involved in that partnership, and it's fantastic what they're doing in Wisconsin. It was really a great day. The Secretary of Treasury is with us, and he's worked very hard, and I think he's got some very good things to say and some pretty big news. And Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, Secretary of Labor Gene Scalia, Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos, and Small Business Administrator who's definitely kept busy, Jovita. Where's Jovita? Jovita, good.
Oh, this is going to be a nightmare.
Jovita
I should have
Carranza.
recorded this and done it
Thanks
delayed.
also to Iowa Governor.
Should I do that, Cam?
Kim Reynolds, who's done terrifically. Kim, hi Kim, nice to see you. Thank you very much. And
Hi, Kim.
Eric Holcomb, Governor of
Yeah, this is
Indiana.
live, Adolf.
And we always recognize Eric because he's, how tall are you, Eric? She's a pretty
So
tall
I'm
guy, right?
kind of debating now
But we have one that's a little
doing this
taller.
delayed so we
You know
can
where
skip
that is?
through all the
Alaska.
roundtable stuff,
You know that, right?
even though it's a
You're
rectangle.
doing a great job. We appreciate it, as well as the CEOs who have signed our pledge.
But
to
that plastic
American
surgeon's office
workers.
was in the United
Marilyn
States.
Houston, thank you very much, of Lockheed Martin. Sebastian Thurn of Udacity and Ginny Rometty of IBM. I want to thank you all. You've been really here from the beginning, very much from the beginning, and we appreciate it very much. Together we built the greatest economy in history, and
We
literally
didn't.
in the history of the world.
No,
Greatest we've
not
ever
literally
had,
at
the
all.
Greatest the world has ever
We had
seen.
a 2.1%
And now we
GDP.
have to bring it back.
Manufacturing
because
was
we
in
had to
contraction.
close in order to save millions of lives. We added 2.5 million jobs last month, which was incredible.
That we
Another
just
the largest
brought
monthly
back
increase in
2.5.
history,
We lost
and more than
300,000
double
permanent
the
jobs.
previous record. So
Yeah.
we're bringing it back. We
No.
had the greatest ever, and
We
had to
lost
close it,
300,000
and now
jobs.
we bring it back, and we start off with 2.5 million jobs in one
Hey,
month.
Danielle.
I would say that's pretty good, Merrill.
Hey, doctor.
That's the highest ever done, and then
It's
likewise,
not pretty good.
retail
It's 16.3%
sales surged
unemployment.
by nearly 18% last month. That was the biggest jump ever recorded.
Because we
So
shut
that's
everything
great. The
down.
stock
Well, sorry,
market
the
has
governor shut
seen
everything
you go
down.
back one week. So the best 50 days in its history, best 50-day increase in the history of the stock markets.
Today it's down 700.
Our pledge to America's workers has secured commitments to over 16 million job and training opportunities from employers nationwide, and some of the employers are with us, and they've been fantastic. I want to thank the American people for doing such an incredible job. They understand what's happening, and they see how fast we're
still down
turning it
5,000
around.
people.
I want to just state that this is Americans of all backgrounds that we're talking about. To have the chance, we want to get them the chance to learn and to build a successful career. We want to train Americans, and we want to hire Americans. So we're training American and we're hiring American. Before the pledge, and this is a very big factor. I mean, we have a problem that has about 22 different names.
It's
but I'll just
22
call
now
it
because
the plague.
it was
But
called
before the plague struck,
19 yesterday.
we had the lowest African American and Hispanic American, Asian American unemployment ever. We had the most jobs we've ever had, almost 160 million jobs. We've never been in a position
and
like
we've
that.
lost
Women were
30
thriving,
to 40 of them.
best
million.
numbers ever. And since my election, more than half of those jobs, more than half, first time that's ever happened, went to women.
Hey, Barbara Wojnicki.
But now we want to get that all back. The African American
Senior governmenting.
group got hit very hard. The Hispanic American group got hit very hard.
Everybody got hit
Essentially,
hard.
all groups got hit hard, but now
Yes.
it's all coming
Okay.
back. To further expand opportunity, I'm taking a bold action to reform the federal workforce today. I'll sign an executive order that directs the federal government to replace outdated and really outdated, it's called degree-based hiring with skill-based hiring.
Okay, this is what he does.
We want it based on
He-
skill.
so-
The federal government will no
He
longer
read something wrong from the
be
paper, so
narrowly
outdated
focused
is not
on
what it
where
said.
you went to school, but the
Hey, Andy.
skills and the talents that you bring to the job. We
Hey,
want
Dr.
that
Hillbilly.
skill to be there. We want it based on merit. We've looked at merit for a long time, and we've been able to get that done, and today's signing is
guys,
a
I'm
very,
sorry, I
very
should have
important one.
done this
I think
delayed,
maybe before I sign,
because this is
I'll
gonna
ask
be a
Ivanka
round
to say
table
a few
where
words,
it's just gonna
and
be a
then,
dear leader praise meeting.
We'll go around a little bit. We'll pick a few people, and
Yeah,
then we'll
like I just
sign,
said.
and we go back to work. Thank you very much, Ivanka.
It's Friday afternoon, though, so I thought this
Thank
would
you,
be just a
Mr.
quickie.
President, and it's an honor to have you here. We just convened our
Honored
sixth
to have you
meeting
here
of our
in the White
Workforce
House,
Advisory Board,
where
and we
you
got
live.
an update on the team's response to your bold call to action. First, we're going to be launching, and Ginny Rometty, in
Bang,
partnership
bang,
with Tim
bang.
Cook, spearheaded this group, a massive
Isn't that Tim
advertising
Apple?
campaign that directs those that need to
Donk,
reskill,
donk,
learn a new
donk,
trade,
donk.
to secure a job,
Donk, donk,
to the
donk,
resources
donk,
to
donk,
enable them
donk.
to do that. So we're very
Thump, thump,
excited
thump.
about the launch of this
Thump,
private
thump,
sector-led
thump.
and driven campaign to match Americans with the training they need and ultimately the job vacancies that exist. The advisory board is also creating a series
Advisory
of
bird?
pilot
I want an
programs,
advisory
and
bird.
Scott Pulsifer
Bernie
and
had
Doug
an advisory
McMillan have
bird.
been running these groups where we really think about how we create the resumes of the future and allow
What I
people to
need
find
is a
job
good
vacancies based on
defense.
skill and for employers to connect with those unemployed workers,
So
again,
same.
based on skills. So creating a lot more efficiency to that process. You are once again leading by example here today with
Voice
this EO
niece.
signing. As
Barbara,
the
voice
nation's
niece. I can do that.
largest employer, we are always seeking to recruit and retain the best and the brightest to serve the American people. Last December, you fought for and secured paid leave for every federal worker. This was a first, creating a workplace that
thumping her hand
reflects
on
our American
every single
values of
word.
both work and family, and helping us retain our amazing talent. It's also why you fought so hard this spring when COVID struck to secure paid sick leave for Americans employed by small businesses and additional
thump,
funding
thump.
for childcare providers,
thump,
helping
thump,
millions
thump,
and
thump.
millions of Americans remain employed and providing relief to small
Providing
businesses across
relief.
the country. This is going to ensure a faster and stronger recovery. Today, we're taking that next step, as you mentioned, and signing an executive order that directs federal agencies to hire based on skills and knowledge, not just outdated degree requirements. This will allow us to better recognize
I just
the
want her to,
talents
every
and
time she gets
competencies of
before the
all
mic, I
Americans
just
we
expect her
hire.
to say,
You built
hey, what's
once
up, everybody?
the most inclusive economy in this country's history, and you'll build it again. Through our
Most
pledge to
inclusive
America's
economy.
workers, the private sector has committed to investing in the training and education of over 16
Yeah, Trump is
million
talking to the
American
workers.
students and workers.
Trump,
And this
Trump is trying to make
continues
the economy with
despite
16.3
the
unemployment.
vast change that
16.3%
that the plague
unemployment.
ushered in.
Look
Companies
fantastic.
like Udacity, Sebastian Thrun joins us today, have been leading the way, and they've been using their pledge
gets that from her
commitment
mom,
and
David.
fulfilling it by providing free tech training to American
Free
workers
tech
laid
training.
off as a result of COVID. I recently
Sorry,
had
guys.
the
I'm assuming it's
opportunity to
thumping every time I'm
virtually
touching the
meet
mic, and
one
I
of the
really
students
shouldn't,
that went
but-
through your program and received your scholarship in conjunction with the pledge, and it was incredible. His name was
Nepotism
Tony.
Barbie,
He was
White
a
House
lifelong
Barbie,
truck driver. He owned his own
political
business.
Barbie.
It was a single rig that he had. Through a series of
Malibu
setbacks,
Barbie.
the company ended up going under. He signed up for a course in tech and is now a software engineer, providing for his family, absolutely loving what he
Sweatshop
does.
Barbie, that's what I
And
call her.
there are many, many stories like Tony that hopefully will inspire millions across the nation. Marilyn Hewson, also an early pledge signer of Lockheed Martin, committed to hiring during the pandemic, using virtual technology and other techniques to ensure recruitment processes move forward. So with more people teleworking and learning from home than ever before,
Buzzword,
we have
buzzword,
a lot to accomplish in the months ahead, and I'm really excited about your effort to extend this working group and to reform our federal hiring practices as we think about building that inclusive American economy as we transition to greatness. So,
I want an
thank
inclusive
you for
American
today,
economy.
and it's a pleasure
Where do
to
I
have
get
you join
economy?
us.
Thank you very much, honey. Great job. Really has been.
His
It's been
economy
a labor
sounds
of love.
awesome. Economy
And,
was the
Ivanka
former head
loves
of the
helping
FBI.
people. It's a wonderful thing. Marilyn, how about starting with you?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. It's really
for
an
your
honor to
leadership.
serve on this policy board, and I must say,
Leadership.
I agree with you, Advisor Trump, Ivanka Trump, and Secretary Ross have led us well. We've had a great effort over the last several meetings and put forward some strong
That's funny, Cam.
recommendations that I help
Cam says, "I wonder how long
match the
Ivanka took
skills
to
together with
plagiarize
the
that
jobs
speech."
are there. And at Lockheed Martin, we're proud that this year we're on a path to hire 12,000 people, and a lot of
I
it
wonder
is
how
around
many of the
making sure
15
that
million
we are
jobs
getting
that
the
Ivanka
kind of
created
apprenticeships
personally have been
and
lost.
scholarships and skills training for them so that they can link up to
Everything would be
jobs in
better
our
as
operation.
claymation, Marcy.
Thank you.
Well, you've done a great job, and I
Oh,
got
she
to
was
see it
quick. I like
again.
her.
I mentioned it was so impressive what I saw, the whole group yesterday. It was really great to be there, and I didn't know you had a big chunk of that one, but you've done very well with it, so we appreciate it. Please, Sebastian, please.
It's a great honor to meet you, and I want to thank you for keeping us safe. And,
Oh, does it
and
say
moving us
Advisor
forward.
Trump on Ivanka?
This has been, of
She's a
course,
senior
vital time
advisor.
for all of us, with over 30 million unemployed. It's our chance to really redefine how education looks like and move into a world where people learn lifelong, have
Oh,
lifelong
he just said
access
30 million
and can really
unemployed, and Trump was
unfold,
not happy. I
their
wish I could
livelihoods.
rewind it, guys.
Ivanka, who's of course the visionary behind all of this, and thank you for doing this, mentioned Tony Boswell, a truck driver who
Did he say thank you,
was
honey?
driving trucks for 10 years, and then his truck broke down. He couldn't finance the new engine that he needed. And he was unemployed,
Yeah.
had no income, no education, and came
Yeah.
across by randomness a Google scholarship that Udacity launched. And then in 10 months' time was able to become a software engineer. These are the stories that I believe this nation needs. I think we have so much opportunity, so much potential in this great nation to bring people forward, and I think this is the time to do it.
Trump's going to retell that
That's a great
story and
story.
get it totally screwed
Great
up.
story, amazing story.
Amazing story.
Jenny, please.
He told an amazing story last night.
Well,
I don't know
first,
if you
Mr.
guys were
President,
watching the
thank you for your
broadcast, but-
leadership during this time.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And you
She took her
used
mask
an
off.
important word when you described Ivanka's contribution here as a labor of love, because this is something I think what the team has done collectively will have a very long-term impact, as well as short-term. And we are solving
Wait,
probably
Chris, how do you
or
know
working
who's
towards
coming up
helping
next?
solve one of the most
Have you watched this
important
already? Are we in
programs
reruns?
for growth for the country as well. So to help anyone from any socioeconomic background.
Hey,
So
Stephanie.
I really, my hat is off, and a thanks to Secretary Ross and to Ivanka.
Yeah,
for
I know.
having
I'm
led us
certainly-
through
I'm
this. And
considering that,
I think
Dr.
what
Lisa.
we put on the table
you
is
were a
substantive
producer,
change,
Dr.
and
Lisa, I'd
I
have
know
to
it
listen to you.
is changed a company like
No, that
mine.
is-
So
that's
as you
been a
sign
consideration.
Skills First, we've adopted that, and 15% of our hires last year were people from non-traditional backgrounds.
I'm much happier
And so
with the
it's
broadcasts
really
that we
what this
delay
is all
and then
about, I think,
broadcast.
and giving everyone a bright
Things
future in the digital era. So
have to be
thank you
done
for
in
that.
real
Thank you
time.
very much. Good job.
But yeah,
Eric?
I think this would be much better.
Well,
I
it's
thought
my
this was going to be
appreciation.
something
I mean,
else.
What you're doing today is leveling the playing field, and there's been a lot of people, a lot of have-nots that will
I
have
was
an opportunity
deceived.
to join the haves. And to do it during a time of such challenge, but to recognize the opportunity that's here, and to do it now, there couldn't be a more important time. So appreciate everyone's effort around this table and your leadership on this front.
And Indiana's doing very well, I'm hearing. Good things.
We are moving in the right direction. We are.
was gonna say, did Kim Reynolds get a hair job?
Unfilled jobs right now that we need to fill. We've ushered in 100,000 jobs in just 3.5 years. The previous record was 93,000 in 4 years. These are high-wage, high-demand jobs. These are $28 north an hour.
It's great.
So this is what it's all about: skilling up the workforce.
Jackie.
Thank
That's
you.
great. Great job. Thank you very much. Kim?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. And what I so appreciate about your
Oh, there's Kim
administration
Reynolds.
is it's really an administration of action. You identify barriers and gaps, and then you help bring the right people together to find the solutions and enact those. So thank you very much. It's been an honor to be a part of this advisory board. I appreciate how, with the leadership of Ivanka and Secretary Ross, we
He
really
needed
have
this
identified
today. He
the
really
various
did.
elements,
He
connected
can't go to
those
New Jersey and
elements,
play
whether
golf
it's
'cause
been
he's not willing
consistent
to
data,
quarantine.
definition, goals, and messaging.
So this
and
is
I
good
look
for
forward
Donald.
to really amplifying that in the state of Iowa. By executive order, I just created an economic task force. I brought several CEOs, business leaders, and nonprofits together to utilize their expertise
So,
in the
4
way
months
through
into it-
innovation and adaptation and creativity adjusted within weeks
He just
to the
loves
coronavirus
task force.
and everything
She
that
should
this
create a space
group
force.
has talked about will fold so well into what we're trying to do at the state level. And when you think about that happening in every state across the country,
Hey,
we
Mary
really
Mari,
are going to come
Enrico,
back
is it
stronger
Mari or
and
Mary, or
better
how do I pronounce
and really
that?
help
We're
provide
doing pronunciation day
opportunities
today.
for every single American. So thank you for leading
Right,
it.
and we see it now, Kim. Next year is going to be, we think, amazing.
Danielle,
actually.
can you
It's
moderate
going to be an amazing
Kim
year,
Reynolds from
Larry.
now on?
Would you like to say something?
Get her
Yeah,
off.
thanks, sir. I spoke just before you
Oh,
came.
good.
but
We're getting
I'll
the
just
cud.
repeat the V-shaped recovery. Virtually every number is showing a V-shaped recovery now.
Touch his
Private
face.
surveys, government statistics, restaurants, home builders, truckers, durable goods makers, Apple Mobility and travel, gasoline demand, as you said. the
Travel
jobs
is
went up,
not showing a
really
V-shaped
about 3
recovery.
million. In May, we had
Travel is
tremendous retail
showing
sales. Actually, today,
a very
in the income
flattened
report,
view.
we had tremendous consumer spending, 8% at an annual rate for 1 month. It's a great story.
Mari,
It's a
okay,
great
good.
number.
I'm
And
glad I
still
got
think
that
we'll
right.
get
Thank you, Mari.
20% in the second half of the year, and if we get another 5% in the first quarter of next year, we will be right back to the peak in 2019, where you got us the first time with the growth policies. And I just want to say, Ivanka, I gave you a big pitch, did the best I could. Private sector reskilling and retraining, and not only will people come back to the labor force when they're reskilled, they'll come back with higher wages, and they'll come back with more confidence. And it'll make a huge difference, as it already has. And so I've added you to the 4 pillars of growth. The president,
Wow.
Good.
Oh,
tax cuts,
God.
deregulation,
I don't know if you can hear him above the
energy
sucking noise.
unleashing, fair trade deals, and private sector-led reskilling. How's that, sir?
That's great. That's great. And I'm very happy what you
One-
said
one
about,
clap, literally one clap.
early next year. I think next year is going to be an incredible year. Thank you very much, Larry.
Appreciate it.
Wilbur, would you like to say something?
Yes, Mr. President. Thank you for the
Wilbur
opportunity
Ross.
to help Ivanka and the others on this group.
I'm
I've
awake.
been very, very impressed with the productivity of this
here.
advisory board. Most advisory boards create a big, thick book at the end. It goes in the library and nothing happens. This
No,
group,
protesters are
every
above,
single
Barbara, so we
meeting,
might be
there's
a T-shirt level
specific,
already.
tangible thing. It gets
So, yeah, I gotta-
followed up
that remind me
and it
this
gets
weekend, guys. I gotta
implemented.
design a
So
T-shirt.
It's really been a heartwarming thing.
Stephanie
to
Daughter,
see how
hello,
productive
logo?
These folks
Logo?
have been, and I congratulate all of them.
If she doesn't
you
get me
very
a logo,
much.
that's fine.
Thank you.
I'll
Gene,
make a
please.
logo. It won't be any good, but I'll make
Thank you,
one.
Mr. President. And you mentioned the 3.5%
That's kinda my brand.
unemployment rate just a few months ago. You did so many things for the American worker during those 3 years.
What
You
are- what are we
know, back
learning
in
here,
the
besides
summer
that
of
Donald Trump is
2016,
God?
The Congressional Budget Office said that we'd be at 5% unemployment in February. They said that between then and February 2020, they said we'd create 1.9 million jobs. We created 7 million jobs. So Larry touched on it. It was policies of tax cuts, of deregulation that brought us there, which was just a wonderful thing for the American worker as jobs were being created and wages were rising. But there was other work going on, and what you see today is a manifestation of other things that were being done that are now going to have their day to really help workers. We are coming back. Larry's mentioned some of the numbers, but we know that the training will be important, and we're fortunate that this really very extraordinary
Oh, she's
group, and
paragliding
this-
right now?
Secretary Ross has said a group that
Good for
really
her.
generated valuable product.
If she needs any
They
help,
were working
Dr. Lisa is a
quietly, to help
paraglide
train American
psychologist
workers.
or something.
I spoke earlier about
So
a
check
new
in with her.
apprenticeship rule that we adopted at the Labor Department.
You
that
get
I
a
think will
Kevin
be
Lee
very
Father
helpful.
T-shirt for being
This will be an important part of the
moderator,
rebound.
Danielle.
Thank you, Gene, very much. Appreciate it. Steve, please.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Here's
Well, as others
Manouch.
said, your economic team, working with you,
He's the
knew
evil
how
John
to create
Oliver.
jobs, and it created an enormous amount. And because of this virus, we had to unfortunately shut down the economy. We know how to reopen the economy safely. Working with Congress, we put $3 trillion in. It's beginning to work. We see it.
It's
And
beginning to look
our
a
work
lot
isn't going to be
like-
done until every single one of these jobs is done. We know we need a few more tools. We'll go back to Congress next month.
there's a
but
lot
we're
of
gonna get
tools in that
everybody
White
back
House.
to work. And I'm confident we're going to see a strong third and fourth quarter as we reopen.
That's
Same,
great,
same,
Steve.
Dr.
Thank you
Lisa.
very much. Anybody else would like to say something? Anybody?
Dr.
Anybody?
Layla.
This is your chance. Go ahead,
Wait,
please.
what happened? You changed your name.
Mr. President, I just want to say, as your domestic policy chief, what an extraordinary day today is, and here's why. It's not just the work of this council and the leadership of Ivanka. It is the executive order that you are about to sign that completely resets the playing field. The federal government is the largest employer in the country with 2 million employees. 2/3 of American adults do not have a college degree. Your signature that is recalibrating the workforce away from being degree only to skill set is transformational, and the opportunity for you to fight for all Americans. I think about Tony, that Ivanka talked about, that Sebastian talked about from Udacity, from a truck driver to a software engineer, next potentially into the federal government because of this executive order that is focusing on skills rather than degrees. Congratulations and thank you
Same
for your
people who said
leadership.
coal
It's
miners can't be
extraordinary.
software
Thank you very
engineers.
much.
But truckers.
Anybody? Jovita.
Yes, President Trump, thank you very
Jovita.
much for your strong leadership. You know, I sit in the audience here as part of a participation of this particular advisory board, and I'm a recipient of the type of programs that you are actually implementing and supporting. I started out as a box handler in a world's largest logistics company. And so when I hear everyone talk about the dedication of the workforce and establishing some really comprehensive training, I took advantage of every training opportunity there was
Good idea,
in the
Doctor.
private sector. And perhaps you'll see another administrator similar to me based on the programs that you're going to advocate and support.
It's a good
and
point,
because of
Jackie.
the public-private
No, this
partnerships
is
that
if this executive
administration
order has
has
any teeth to it, it's actually a
enabled,
good thing.
The Paycheck Protection
It's
Program, just one
basically
example
opening up a lot more
that
federal
has
jobs
fortified small
for
businesses,
people that may not have a
sustained their
college degree,
viability, and
but have
also
the skill set,
protected
which is,
their employees,
you know,
a
things are
baseline
changing.
of about
Kevin Lee's
60 million
son
employees.
can program a computer.
And
He
so
works
I
for
thank you
Amazon
again for putting small businesses front and center.
with incredible coding
And one other
skills.
comment,
But instead of going to
I'm looking
college
at
for
all
4
of these
years, he went to
private
college
sector
for 2
companies that
years
super
and then
leaders
went to a coding
in
boot
your
camp
various
for
sectors.
about
You are the
12
primary
weeks.
contractors
Came out of there with all the skills he needed for that position, and he's
for
doing fantastically.
The subcontractors that I represent as an
Whereas I
advocate
have
for
a
small
college
business
degree,
administration.
and I'm streaming on
So
Twitch.
once you reinstate your viability, the small business sector will then follow soon after. So thank you again, President.
Thank you very much.
It's not a
Jovita.
Trump idea.
Thank
It's
you
been
very
an
much.
idea that's kicked around for a while, but it's
President?
a good idea.
I just appreciate your
That he will screw up
unrelenting
somehow.
focus on creating opportunity for all Americans, and that begins with opportunities in education, and I
So-
so appreciate your leadership there, and it's been a privilege to be
Secretary
part
of
of this,
Education
Ivanka, and
saying, "Hey,
Secretary
thanks
Ross,
for
thank
not
you
encouraging people to
your
go to
work
college,
here.
Mr.
We are
President."
privileged to carry out your vision in policy and action, as Governor Reynolds said, and thank you for your leadership.
I have a degree in
How's that going?
theater.
Choice, right? That's what we want. Please.
I'm a
I was
thespian.
just going to say, thank you, Mr. President. From a university's perspective, it's often perceived as skills versus degrees, but in reality, in a skills-denominated future, it is that tide that lifts all boats, because even those who possess degrees, they can better articulate the skills and competencies that they now have for the future of work.
He screwed up
And the
competencies.
reality is, too, is that it's also more fair, it's more equitable, it's more prosperous for our workforce, because what it really is that it's now
Oh,
about
there's
what you
Kaylee
possess and
Macaroni.
what you can
You come
demonstrate,
talk.
not
Come
how
on.
you acquired the
Get in here.
competency and skill. And so it just creates
wanna
much
hear
more
you
of an
praise the great leader.
equitable pathway. And WGU, as a competency-based education provider, has always been focused on how do you articulate the outcomes of achieving
Western
a degree
Governors
in a
University?
skills and competency-based way. So it's much more aligned with the
WGU.
future of work. And so it is truly
Where is
that tide that
Western
lifts all
Governors
boats. So
University?
this is a huge step in the right direction. So thank you very much.
I agree with you 100%, I must say. I do. Okay, why don't we sign?
That's
And
it?
this is a big deal. Congratulations
questions?
to everybody in the room.
Sorry,
This
guys.
means a lot.
Friday afternoons. News dump. Make sure to get the Sharpie right on top of that microphone.
Okay.
He
We'll do
uses
that
one
for
Sharpie,
Maryland.
and then he's going to give
We'll
out a
take
box
this.
of Sharpies. Oh, am I blocking? Oh, I'm so sorry. You signed something.
Thank you very much. You can.
doing another one?
Okay, that's very good. We have pens for everybody. Honey. All right, phase 2.
It's not online yet, so I don't know what's in the proclamations.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you all very much. We appreciate it. This is really an important day for a lot of reasons, but this is one of them. Thank you all for being with us. We appreciate it very much. Thank you very much.
So the numbers are up in Florida, and sir, do you want to make a comment on this? Guess what I discovered back on, let's see here. Let me change that left screen. We can do that. You guys don't need to see that right now. There we go. Back on May 14th of this year, Trump retweeted this tweet from this guy. Let's watch, shall we?
Florida was one of the last states to close down and one of the first states to open up. And while the rest of the country is still... Florida was one of the last states to close down and one of the first states to open up. And while the rest of the country is still freaking out, especially in blue states, look at this. I'm at a bar, restaurant. We're all having a good time. Not a single face mask. It's not that bad, guys. Florida was one of the last states to close down. And
what I discovered today when I went to find this is Trump has taken away the retweet, which I've not known him ever to do. Florida had 9,000 positive cases today. And I've never seen him do that. Let me go back and just verify that. Yeah, the retweet goes right to this guy. Let me see if I can... I can't search... Oh, yeah, anytime... Let's see. Twitter, done from Twitter for iPhone. Yeah, typically when you retweet something, it goes to Trump retweet, and then it goes to this to the secondary tweet. But I'll verify that. But anyway, if there's any justice, this guy right here is one of the 9,000. I hope he's okay. I really do. But here he was making fun of people who wear masks. Florida, 9,000. And it's great that he was there and he was enjoying his alcohol, because Ron DeSantis just took away alcohol in bars in Florida. That's their current contraction. But with it, they're just on pause. They're just on pause. We're just not going to have alcohol in bars anymore. We're going to keep the bars open, because how successful bars are without alcohol. Wait, Florida, 3,300 dead today? No, that can't be right. Total. You're probably saying total there, Airbus. Yeah, that's probably about right. I don't want to look it up. Let's see. Washington is up in arms over masks. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Paula Reed from CBS was a journalist. She was. I wanted to take a guess at that, but I didn't want to get it wrong. Paula Reed is always the one. Whenever it's like, oh, yeah, just great. That's not true. Could be Rija Zhang. Could be Yamiche, who I call Yamiche because it sounds delicious. God, I could go from some... Never mind. I just love that. Well, the first time I read Yamiche's name, I read Yamiche, and it just, like I said, it sounds like a delicious, cooling dessert, but not too sweet. Perfect. A dessert that asks all the tough, good questions. Yes, I know Paula Reed is the journalist's name. What? Why? Did someone ask that again? Yes, I know that. Oh, you're telling me again, but you're shouting it this time? Oh, because I hadn't read it yet. Okay, I sometimes forget you guys are delayed developmentally. Okay, let's see. I think that's it for today, guys. We might come back later and do Billy Joel, because I think we've got that vote going on, so we should check in on that. For those of you unfamiliar with it, we do this thing called Billy Joel Madness, where we're voting on the best Billy Joel song of all time. So let's go find that. Okay, Billy Joel Madness. And this vote is still close. So there's 8 hours left in this. Hold on. Why? It's on the wrong screen. What the heck is going on here? Okay, all right. Whew, we're back. So this vote, we're going to close up on it. You can see here, Vienna, 48.7%. Say Goodbye to Hollywood, 51.3%. So still too close to call. So get your votes in now. Go to my timeline and find it, or just do hashtag Billy Joel Madness, and you will be able to vote in that if you haven't already. 39 people have voted. So this is the Sweet 16. This is to get to the Elite 8. So get in there now and get your votes done. Let's go back to you guys. Boom, there you are. Tato says Cuomo should 14-day quarantine for every county, not state, like Hawaii did. That's an idea. And let's see if it's worked out for Hawaii here. I want to pull them up, and I'm afraid I'm going to disappoint you. Okay, come on. There we go. So Hawaii did have a 14-day quarantine, and at least Kauai has extended it until the end of July. Even with that, check this out, guys. Okay, it looks okay until I move out of the way. So this is what's going on in Hawaii right now. Since reopening, they're up 727%, which is still, they're having very minimal cases. Yesterday, it looks like they had about 15 new cases, which isn't a big deal, but then when you consider the size and population of Hawaii, it's a very big deal. And their highest day ever was 50 cases. I'm not even going to do deaths in Hawaii. But they do have a vulnerable population, especially all the retirees, etc. And then I'm not sure how Polynesian, how that race comes into factor, so who knows. Anyway, I want to be in Hawaii right now. Marcy, how's everything over there? Americans don't do anything they're told not to. That's true. We never have any accidental gun deaths. Fact check. Okay, who else is here? That was Infinity Screens. That was me, present day me, warning everyone else that everyone behind me, they're all going to die. I mean, we all do at some point. I died already, guys. It's really not that big a deal. You don't care when you're dead, because you're dead. But you do vote Democratic, which is interesting. Okay, give me a second here to see who's dinging me. Okay, someone is here to do things, and I can't let them into the house. But they're still pinging me. Okay, guys, so I'm going to let you go. You guys have a great weekend. I'm sure I'm going to see you at some point this weekend. Get in there, vote for Billy Joel, and if I happen to remember it, or somebody send me a DM later and say, hey, who won the Billy Joel thing? And then we'll see if we can't get another couple of songs going later today. Give me a second here to put this person on hold. There we go. That's taken care of. Jackie, Marcy, Todd, good to see you. Airbus, everybody else in here. Barb, have a good one, Barb. Have a good night. Have a good sleep. Barb, voice niece. Took me a second, but I got there. Guys, take care of yourself. Be safe. Do not go to the bar. Do not be that guy. Wear your mask. I don't have to tell you guys this, unless there's like a Trump supporter out there watching this later. Put on a mask. That's all I'm saying. Okay, guys, I'm going to try the closing credits, and something strange happened on it last time, so let's see what happens now. Give me a second. Here it comes.
Kevin, tell us what you got. Okay, we don't have Kevin.